in just a second here. Just going to make sure, as per normal, that the Twitch is operational and we are not just speaking to the void and each other while everything is bad and wrong with the world.
It's addictive. I just keep watching CNN all day. I swear. It's like, what now? I'm waiting for someone to do something, anything, and just like, oh, we're just gonna let it happen. Great.
Oh yeah, every time so I do still have I have Twitter just as an app that exists, but I don't like post on it at all anymore. But every single time like Twitter like gives me a news post, it's just like Trump administration does or something like that. It's like fuck, I need to see what's going on,
What
or
they did.
I need to go on Fark or like, figure out like what's happening. But
Like either this affects me in some way or it just pisses me off for no reason. It's a coin toss. I'm
anyway,
sorry, who did it
welcome.
before now?
Welcome
Okay.
everyone to Animesplaining Gaiden, where we get Joey out of here because we did not make this an actual episode because he did not like these in a not fun way.
Yeah. I would have liked to hear his opinion in person though, but I honestly don't know what Joey likes besides sports. I don't know what he enjoys.
No, I had a conversation with him about it. It was just like, oh, I don't understand why this character does this. It's like if you're even asking that question, like you just need to accept that this isn't for you. And like
Yeah.
like generally when I approach something that I do not like, as I did with our what's it, the anime of the year contenders.
Oh yeah, master.
I tried to go like, okay, who is this for? Like what would people like about this? Can I like push forth my argument of like this is why my opinion is what it is, but at the same time like, hey, this is why I approach it this way. And that was not the case with that conversation I was having with Jay. um
It's
but yeah.
almost like he's looking for things not to enjoy. I see it as a meal where you don't like one finger on the plate. You just eat around it. You just eat all the good parts and enjoy those bits. Why are you focusing on the bad parts so much?
Yep. But yeah, we watched two movies. We watched Batman Ninja and Batman Ninja versus the Yakuza League, both made by Kamikaze Doga, and it shows. If you are not familiar with that name, Marlon, they made Kill la Kill, which this borrows
That
heavily
makes
from.
sense. Yeah, yeah, I see it now.
And they also in just straight up anime explaining what we've done with Kamikaze Dogas. We did Star Wars Visions back when we were just a podcast, the original, and they did one of the shorts for that. They do the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure openings. Like generally they're around, but have not real they don't make their own series. They generally like hop on to another. Like they're currently doing the robot fight scenes for Gundam G-Quux. I had to remember what they call it in the dub rather than GQX or however you pronounce it.
Equally.
But yeah,
That's
speaking
pretty cool. That's a good way of maintaining business.
but speaking of a meal that you need to eat your vegetables before you go into the entree. How did you feel about Batman Ninja?
Surprisingly good. But I feel like Elseworld stories have a lot of leeway because they're not beholden to the source material. But with this, I got to have my cake and eat it too. Because I was expecting like full on original characters just set in Japan. But instead, they took Batman and just shoved them in there. Just our regular Batman just did a time warp from a new environment and said, "Here, now you deal with this. You're in Japan now. You're in feudal Japan. You deal with the situation." And that's how I want to see more adventures done.
Not only is regular ass Batman in Japan, regular ass every single DC character is in Japan. Like
Yeah,
it's like that they're feudal Japan versions of these characters, but they are time swapped into it. Kind of like when Justice League did their Old West thing, and the only real person from the Old
yeah,
West is Jonah Hex.
yeah, yeah. It was just like that, and I appreciated it just as something new and refreshing, and that was enough for me to get past things like the story not being much and how
Coherent.
much they're like, is that really all coherent? Like, you know what? It's pretty. I'll take
Yeah, I'm still I was trying to like summarize the Batman Ninja movie in my head. It's like, okay, so
Yeah. What
they
happened?
Gorilla Grodd is working on something. He ends up time warping all of Arkham Asylum, which like 90% of Gotham is in for some reason. And so
Not just that, but apparently only housed like what, 5 criminals?
yeah.
Like all of Batman rogues gathered, we got 5 of them. Okay.
And so you have some who ended up in feudal Japan earlier, like Catwoman says that she's been around for 2 years and they've just been waiting for Batman to show up. It's like, oh, he's going to get out of the time fissure at some point. Um, and
Yeah.
meanwhile, all of the Batman villains have ended up like owning their own little feudal kingdoms that are themed after these characters, which they eventually just really do nothing with, and that's
Yeah.
I think that's the ultimate sin of Batman Ninja as a movie. It's like, oh, here's this cool looking feudal Japan Deathstroke. Here's this Two-Face with a really cool looking castle. Here's like
Yeah.
Poison Ivy showing that she can like do some potentially cool things with her powers. Are they going to do anything? No. Joker's just going to
Yep.
form all their castles into a giant robot and fight Batman.
Yeah. By the time they formed the giant monkey together, I was like, you know what's special disbelief out the window. I don't give a shit anymore. Sure. Little monkeys called on by Damien to form a giant monkey to fight a mech. Like, why aren't your fists just bloody stumps every time you punch him? Why aren't you just crushing animals with each blow?
Well, and
Like, why is it this thing this
a
gross?
bunch of bats to go around the monkeys
Yeah,
to
and make a
make a
large Batman.
giant Batman.
Just the largest, smelliest meat mech I've ever seen in my life. And then they lit it on fire. Like, imagine what that stench was like.
Oh yeah, and you see burning
Just
monkeys
burning
coming.
monkeys. I feel like this rating should be a little higher. I'm not okay with that.
Is
Also, wasn't okay with Damien's entire characterization, but no one ever seems to get Damien right, except on Harley Quinn for some reason.
is Batman Ninja the one where Damian Wayne is kind of sitting in for the audience, where he's constantly going like, "This is stupid," or is that Yakuza League?
I think that was Yakuza. Yakuza, we got regular Damien on that one, while I feel like he was less prominent in Batman Ninja, along with the other Robins. They were just kind of there.
Yeah, everyone's kind of there. Like the we'll probably kind of skim over Batman Ninja a little bit more, but overall, like I think the main event is Batman Ninja versus the Yakuza League. It very much seems like this was what they wanted to do the entire time. Yeah. Like they have a better story, like the characters are better, they do a lot more with everything going on. And the thing that I like most about both of these, quite frankly, between Batman Ninja and its sequel, is they treat Batman as they should. He is just a stoic character where things are just kind of happening to him. Like, Batman does not have agency. Like,
that's kind of the series in general. I felt it was. I keep comparing it to Mad Max Fury Road, but it's one of the most simple plots I've ever seen, and it's simple that way. And that's why I enjoyed it. It's like, here's the bad guys. The bad guys are here. Stop the bad guys. That's it. That's the entire plot. The bad guys are wearing Japanese armor now, and now you get to stop them in Japan. And that was enough to hook me for an hour and a half to just watch really cool animation.
Yeah, I thought they were going to do something with, who is it, Aeon, the like original character that they just throw in. I was like, oh, is that going to be Azrael? Is he going to have like a heel turn or something? Like, he has this random army of ninjas that says like there's this prophecy of a great like bat warrior. It's like, no, he's just a dude with ninjas. Batman has an army.
Some guy.
It's how we get Batman an army.
It's pretty much there to just keep the cast from being completely whitewashed. Like, look, we have an actual Japanese person here in a Japanese theme movie. We're not completely racist. It's not all oops all Gaijin over here. And in that regards, it's you just look at the movie because it's pretty. You're here to see cool character designs and scenery. You're not here for much else. Like that one scene of Red Hood and the Joker and Harley. That's a badass design for Red Hood. that huge freaking wicker basket friggin' basket on his head. That's awesome. And I could barely pay attention to the scene. None of it mattered because barely anything happens. But it's like, hey, I'm just looking at cool designs.
Red
That's
Hood
all.
just
And
Red
they're
Hood
gonna fight
just
later.
beats up very obviously the Joker.
Yeah. What gets me about that one is Batman has too soft of a heart, and he keeps forgiving people and just believing them. And it's like, shouldn't you be super jaded at this point? You just like kind of not trust anyone. It's like, I'll give you a chance. I can see it in his eyes. He's changed. He's different. 20 minutes later, he's in a giant kaiju trying to kill you.
See, and that's the thing that I like the sequel about, because they seem to be of the understanding it's like, actually the Justice League in general, like Batman included, are kind of dumb. Like, Batman
That's the only way these things work.
Yeah, Batman befriends Catwoman. Catwoman double crosses him, and he's just like, it kind of happens. And then she just like comes back with him, and she's like, oh yeah, I'm surprised you forgive me so quickly after double crossing you. It's like, it's like I'm used to it at this point.
He's like, you gotta love a man willing to forgive a woman. Like, he forgives you, he forgave the Joker, he forgave Harley Quinn. What is up with this Batman exactly? He deserves to get stabbed a few times. Appreciated the Bane cameo though. That was barely a fight. It is a cameo, but I appreciated Sumo Bane. I appreciated the random anime style switches that occur because 3D didn't work for everything, and I actually liked the squiggly style a little more, personally speaking.
Oh, when they go like super stylized, which they do a lot more in the sequel. They just like, let's just go nuts.
And I appreciated more then. Like, I noticed Batman and his characters, his family were the only CG ones. And here comes the League. They're all traditionally animated, like traditionally hand drawn, and that was the coolest freaking thing. Like, worlds collide. Here you have the West 3D CG, and here's the East traditional hand drawn. That's a cool touch, I thought.
Yeah, I've seen quite a bit of shows that use this like 3D style. Not just for like very like specific things, because like I said, this company does the robot fight scenes for Gundam, and Gundam at this point, like, you're using CG for the robot fights. It's just what they do.
Yeah,
they did it for Gundam the Origin, stuff like that. But it's kind of still like, it doesn't look quite there where I would want to watch like a 12 to 24 episode series that is this. Like, and I tried watching Ajin, which was a Netflix original. I haven't tried watching the Berserk that is like 3D animated, but I hear it's really bad. So I don't know what needs to happen to make this good, other than just throw enough budget against it until it's just Miles Morales.
Because I've seen video games do it well. I forgot the name of the series, but that fighting series where they're 3D models, but they're drawn 2D style. It looks like it looks like it's animated, like Gun Gear or Guilty Gear or something.
Guilty Gear Strive does that.
Yeah, like that looks really cool. It looks like an old school game, but they are 3D models. For some reason, they can't seem to quite get that right at the movies. Like, they're trying, but it still looks like blatant CGI to me. Like, it still makes me think of like Reboot or Beast Wars or something.
Oh, I forgot. There was the new the reboot of Trigun, which is decent for like a 3D animated thing.
Yeah,
like, it looks.
But 3D animation, it's tolerable. That's how I feel about it. It's the kind of thing you have to get your eyes used to, and just kind of like, all right, I guess this is what we're doing. It's not my favorite. It doesn't look the best, but I'll appreciate it while it's here. Like, hey, look, there's glowy tattoos and glowy bits. Look at the glowy things. It's pretty. Like, yeah, you're very pretty. You're very nice. I prefer if someone just hand drew you. Superman looks great. Aquaman looks great. The entire league looks awesome. Why can't everything else look like that? That'd be really cool. We just maintain that the entire time.
So as far as if Batman Ninja is the way I saw it, which is like, since we are saying like the different styles of Batman with like these big title screens, like, oh, this is Sengoku Batman, and now we're the actual Batman Ninja, Batman, where this is designed to sell you either action figures or statues. What two things are you getting statues from this if you had like unlimited funds?
I'm so biased. Nightwing and Red Hood easily. Those designs are so sick. They're so different. For the first movie, Nightwing, Red Hood, freaking Deathstroke. Deathstroke looks amazing.
Deathstroke does look cool. Too bad they didn't do anything with him.
Yeah, it did make me appreciate Deathstroke versus Red Hood. Like, have we seen that before? Why haven't we? We see Deathstroke versus Batman all the time. The whole thing is Batman has a handicap; he doesn't kill. Red Hood will shoot you in the face. Why can't we see that more often? Like Red Hood would pretty much demolish Deathstroke. I'm pretty sure. So why don't we see that happen? It's like they're avoiding that fight because they know he'd beat him.
And I guess last question that's coming out of Batman Ninja. What's your opinion on this version of the Joker? Joey did not like this version of the Joker. He's like, oh, this Joker is a bitch. And it's like, I think he's more like the Cesar Romero, like, kind of goofy prankster Joker rather than, like, maniacal, always murdering Joker.
Yeah, this is Mustachio Joker. And plus, I'm also used to the fact that Joker is different in every appearance. His personality doesn't stay the same. His entire origin is multiple choice. So I could see this Joker existing in Joaquin Phoenix Joker and 90s friggin' Batman the Animated Series Joker. It could all be the same guy on a different day. So I'm used to him being different at this point, even if he's voiced by Buster Bluth in this, which kind of surprised me and should have. That voice makes sense. Like either way, the character is still intact. He's still treacherous. He still can't be trusted. He still does wild things like, "Oh my God, I'm innocent now," and it turns out he's not. He's still the same character. His voice may have been a little high pitched, but yeah, I'm used to Joker being irritating. Like people who don't like Deadpool are used to Deadpool. I'm used to Joker being Joker.
And this Joker can actually fight a little bit, so there's that.
Yeah, that's another inconsistent thing. Either the Joker is shit at hand-to-hand combat, or he's a goddamn master, and I just have to just acclimate myself to it. All right, fine, whatever.
It just depends on what you're watching.
Yeah. With Joker, I've suspended my disbelief so often. I just left it out there. Like, whatever, you can fight now. Okay, you're a ninja. Fine. I guess you learned that in Arkham at some point. Cool.
Okie doke. So, I need to get your thought process because we're moving into Batman Ninja versus the Yakuza League. I appreciate the start of Yakuza League because I'm assuming that you had the exact same reaction where obviously they have the characters react to this too, where it's like, okay, it's a day later after the events of Batman Ninja, everyone's back in Gotham, and then the weather says like, hey, there's a Yakuza hurricane coming.
Yeah, I was like mid-text saying, what the hell, the Yakuza hurricane? Oh, literal Yakuza raining from the sky.
Just a bunch of guys in suits with jetpacks.
At that point, like, has my disbelief again. Again, fine, just stay over there. Don't bother. I'm in for a long haul.
It was at that point that I was like, oh, Joe. It was at that point that I'm like, oh, Joey should watch this to see if he'll engage with it. But he never made it that far.
He didn't get to the second. Where did he make it with Batman Ninja?
He said he made it to about like 10 minutes before it ended.
He couldn't wait 10 minutes. Get a resolution.
And he said that he couldn't watch it like straight. He just got too angry. Whatever.
He uses his opinion here. Just for his set. Just like, all I got is why. Is it just because he hates anime in general? Just the idea of it? Like I felt like this wasn't very tropey, and I came in assuming Joey would like it because they didn't do the whole crazy face thing. They didn't do the whole giant teardrop thing. They generally avoided anime tropes, and it was better for it. I'm surprised he still found things to hate.
And when they go into anime tropes, they like actively make fun of themselves. Like this is very even Batman Ninja is very self-aware. But it's Yakuza League is just not subtle about it. Like they just full on like go ham. But I mean, even Batman Ninja, it's like, oh, I have a pet monkey for some reason, and this monkey is going to turn into a giant monkey that's filled with bats. Yep. And but I think what Joey ran into is that if you remember comic book discourse in like the 2000s and 2010s, which was very much the like, oh, Batman is the greatest when he's dark because we all really like the Chris Nolan movies. And therefore any sort of levity in Batman is wrong and should be like thrown out. I think that is what this actively ran into. in his
I
brain.
appreciate that.
And
I did. You notice when the monkey when he was playing the flute, it was like na 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 na
yeah.
na 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 na, like direct callback. I freaking love that. The best Batman, Adam West. Just saying.
So yeah, I think it's because this these two movies are so unapologetically goofy in a character where there is a certain level of the fan base that really hates it when you make Batman goofy. Like they will look at that video of like, oh, I ordered a water at the fast food place and getting Sprite, and then Batman saying behind you and beats the
I
shit out
think
of you.
unfortunately, I think unfortunately that started Batman Forever and Batman and Robin, and I feel because those movies got bad reviews, they figured, oh, lighthearted must mean bad, goofy must mean bad. No, bad is bad. Badly written is bad. The concept was fine as two movies based more on the TV show than more on the comic books. That's fine. It's just the script wasn't very well done. But you can't just throw the baby out the bathwater like, oh, we need to make him extremely dark now. That's how it works. That's how we got the friggin' Snyder Bros of Man of Steel. And now they're freaking torn apart on the new Superman coming. Like, Superman should be dark. Where did you come from? Where this fan base coming in? Superman should be dark and brooding. No, he shouldn't. Pick up one book, watch one episode of the animated series or any other piece of Superman media. Where did you get this? But now they're determined to corrupt Superman the way they have Batman. While Batman is serious, it's more that he's the straight man surrounded by goofy friggin' shit. His rogues gallery, they're a laugh riot. They're supposed to be over the top like they are here, and Joker's supposed to be over the top like he is here. But everyone wants Heath Ledger Joker. We want Barry Keoghan Joker. Like I don't, I don't need Jeffrey Dahmer Joker all the time. So I just want Cesar Romero.
Yeah, the problem is that Batman for a very long time like Frank Miller got a hold of Batman, and then we had like everyone being super serious, and when something is just so serious you want to make fun of it. and,
Yeah,
and
looking at you, Watchmen.
and Batman avoided that for a while because like the good stuff was so good, but overall, like eventually you're going to either have a string of bad stuff or that just someone is going to come along and say, "Oh, this is kind of funny because it's goofy," and like people want to laugh at things. Like that's
Yeah. The trouble is the attitude is exhausting. Comic book fans in general and nerds wouldn't be taken seriously so badly. That's exhausting. It's like, look, it's like Law and Order SVU. It's as good as any of your adult shows. Like, you don't have anything to prove. It's a it's a property that's essentially for kids in the first place. So it should be goofy. You should at least acknowledge that. This thing is not going to grow up with you into your 20s and 30s and become the mature show you want it to be. It's going to keep with its demographic and keep trying to appeal to those kids. It's what works for Marvel in that, yeah, you can have serious plots, but keep in mind, we have action figures to sell. We have freaking Happy Meals to sell here. These are kids should be watching this in the first place. I love Batman Returns personally. I understand why a kid would hate it. That movie is not for kids. It's too overly sexualized. It's too dark. But apparently, it's what fans want everything to be like, and that just can't be the place. Sometimes you need something like Shazam to make fun of what's there. Not Shazam 2, that doesn't exist. Shazam 1.
and and granted, I think Marvel is running into this problem with the current set of movies. Like, if there's one word that I would put to Brave New World, it's that it's joyless. Like
Yeah.
there,
It's funny in all the wrong ways. Like, whenever it's hilarious, it's like, nope, that's because that's bad. You didn't do that properly, and now it's funny. That was not on purpose.
and like I don't know, the people talk about like, oh, we need to put to death the Marvel style of humor, which is kind of just that irony poison like Whedon-esque
Yeah.
way of doing things. But I I think there's a place for it, but you need to pick your spots. Like, you could argue that the Harley Quinn animated series is just nonstop that. It is
Yeah.
just making fun of the comic book tropes that these characters are within. But what makes Harley Quinn work is that it is completely sold on its own ideas. Like, it is just
Yeah.
taking this world to its logical extreme.
Yeah. And I feel like Marvel even tried to listen to the fans. They're like, all right, here's the Eternals. Not a single joke in the house. Oh, you hated that. Oops. No one liked it. So the fans didn't like it. The critics didn't like it. Like, bring the jokes back. Yeah, get back to the jokes. And they like the jokes. Just bring the jokes back. Now, you can't overdo it if, say, like Thor Love and Thunder. But again, it's a balance issue. They didn't prioritize the plot. Taika Waititi prioritized jokes.
Yeah.
It's like Joel Schumacher, Batman and Robin. Like, I know he's a competent director. Sometimes they put too much chemical X and ruin the whole thing.
Yeah, it's like Marvel is trying to find that ratio again to like.
Yeah, that's it exactly. Like ever since James Gunn left, they can't for the life of them figure out how to do it. How do you make the audience cry and then laugh the next moment? That's a James Gunn specialty. You just have to let directors do what they do and not micromanage them so much. Let Ryan Coogler be Ryan Coogler. I forgot the name of the director for the Marvels, but she did the Candyman movie, and that was amazing. And I'm surprised it's the same director.
And
Marvel got their fingers in it, and that was it.
Granted, letting Ryan Coogler be Ryan Coogler also gave us Wakanda Forever, which, I mean, I understand what, like, the existence of this, like, 2.5 hour funeral that we're watching, but it's not a good movie.
It's not. It's my least favorite Marvel movie of all time. Everyone talks about Iron Man 2 or freaking Thor: The Dark World. Like, no, it's Black Panther 2. I could take a bad movie and have fun with it and have a good laugh. Black Panther 2 was just joyless. And they would throw in these jokes that didn't. A funeral is a good comparison because when someone cracks a joke at a funeral, like, should I laugh? I don't feel really appropriate doing this. As I felt watching the Black Panther movie, because Riri Williams trying to bring some lightness to it. And it's like, what are you doing? You don't fit in this at all. You don't fit in this entire. The only thing you have in common with these characters is that you're black. That's it. They just threw in another black character for no reason. She has no business there. And it's why I'm not excited to see her. And it's one of those movies where I feel like it was headed the direction the Eternals was headed. So they threw in some comedic relief, and it was all really badly done.
Yeah. And granted, Namor is boring too. Namor is just lesser Aquaman.
Yeah. How do you drop the ball in Namor? I love Namor. Namor's whole thing is that he's Aquaman, but what if he was a dick? And he's kind of white bread in this movie. Like I felt sorry for his plight, but he didn't really have much teeth. And it doesn't help that he was out. Now we're talking about Black Panther 2 instead. It doesn't help that he was following Michael B. Jordan of all people, coming in huge and ripped and jacked. And here comes like little Namor, like, I'm gonna ruin your whole scene. Like, oh God, you're adorable. You can't do shit.
Yeah,
you're not Killmonger. Who you can.
So getting back on track, this is the universe that Batman Ninja versus the Yakuza League is coming into, because Batman Ninja came out in 2018. Batman Ninja versus the Yakuza League came out this year. Like, so it has all of this baggage with like current Marvel movies coming in, and it's a movie that starts with there's a Yakuza hurricane, the audience questioning, like, what the hell is that? And it being exactly what it is, which is a bunch of dudes in suits with, like, Tonto swords, flying jetpacks.
Yeah. Yep, like, they understood that the appeal of comic books in the first place is that it's silly, it's escapism, so just go all out there with it. If comic book fans can accept it on the page and just move on, regular people can accept it and just move on, and they were right. You don't need to over-explain everything. Sometimes a sigh is just a sigh.
Yeah, so the general plot, so it's a day later, literally a day. They make sure to say that a lot in this. And what has happened was the entire island of Japan has disappeared and has formed into its own little pocket dimension above Gotham. Where
the dimension of Japan. Earth Japan.
Where also the Justice League members have like switched over in that dimension to just become Yakuza bosses under Ra's al Ghul, but it's also our Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah. That's fine. Again, my disbelief is way over there. Like, what do I care?
He was at Arkham at the time, I imagine. Like, he just wasn't in Batman Ninja. He was just plotting as Ra's does.
Like, I'll fill in the blanks. I don't even know how he changed the origins of so many people, but he pulled it off. Good for him.
I will say I do appreciate that this that the writing of this understands, like, if we're going to a comic book audience, let's just go full ham and give the audience like a chance to like point at it and say I know what this is before we actually say it. When they're talking with Superman, it's like, oh, who's your boss and what does he call me? It's like he only knows you. He has only referred to you as the detective. It's like, I know who that is. It's
Yeah. He's also the only one who refers to him as the detective. That's why it's great, obviously. It's Ross. There's no mystery here. So it was a good thing they revealed it like 30 seconds later. Like, yeah, you were going to hide that very well. Right?
But yeah, so Batman and friends go up to the Japan dimension, find that the Green Lantern, which is Jessica Cruz in this because they don't want to have it be a sausage fest.
Yeah. And it's not oops all white people, so good job.
Yeah, Barry Allen and Aquaman, because no one cares what Aquaman's actual name is.
It's Asa in this one, or Asa.
Yeah. Asha, the water dragon.
That's Asha, we got Ari. P-A-R-I. Sakura?
But they're
Kakaru or something.
But they're all fighting against Wonder Woman's like all-female Yakuza League. So who is it that they killed off? Because they go like, oh, there was this other family that we killed off, and I thought it was a reference, but it also went by too quickly for me to understand what the hell it
Doomsday.
was. Oh.
That's why I was confused. Doomsday had his own house. They destroyed it. I didn't know he was competent or coherent enough to give marching orders, but he had his entire own Yakuza to himself, and Superman just killed him. I would like to have seen more of that character. He might have been a really chill guy. I don't know.
That's for the spin-off movie Kuriku, the Man of Steel.
Because I thought it was Darkseid at first, because that would make sense. Darkseid having his own Yakuza, his own building, running his own thing with Steppenwolf and what have you. That would make sense. But no, it's Doomsday. It's straight up Doomsday.
I thought we were going to get Darkseid for a little bit when they showed the eye lasers, because I thought they were like zigzagging a little bit, and it's like, no, it's just Superman eye lasers. It's fine.
Yeah, you'll be fine. He'll keep missing because the plot has him do it.
But this time we are not just here for designs, because these characters actually do something. So I guess what's your opinion of the designs and characters of these Yakuza Justice League members?
My favorite is, of course, the Flash, but I'm biased because it's just a regular fascist costume, which I already love. It's just New 52 Flash, except they kind of mixed him with the lightning guy from Big Trouble in Little China. So they gave him the big hat and the cape and the lightning bolts coming out. Like, yeah, I get your reference. I see you. So you're by default the favorite. And having Aquaman essentially look like a fisherman, like full Japanese fisherman gear, that I thought was pretty cool. And the runner-up being Jessica Cruz. That is just a sick, overly intricate Green Lantern designs. Green Lanterns always have the best designs, period. No points for Wonder Woman. That was lazy as shit.
Yeah, Wonder Woman is just like, I said it in our conversation around this, which is just like they looked at Jessica Cruz. They said, okay, here's her design, and then they looked at Wonder Woman and said like, whatever, we'll just put her in a kimono. Call it good.
Yeah, the other thing is that I feel like their real costumes or whatever the statue would be didn't come until the end of the movie. So that's when Wonder Woman actually looked cool. She actually looked like herself. She had the breastplate. She had the long blue skirt. That looked awesome. But for all that, it was just like, oh, you're just some regular broad. Yeah. Not only are you some regular broad, but you're super modest, which Wonder Woman kind of isn't. She's very blunt. She's very blunt. She's very in your face. But the whole tiny little geisha thing, that felt very out of character.
She's just all about that shoulder. All single shoulder all the time.
That seductive shoulder. Look at the bird. Sexy.
And I have to give points for like Yakuza Superman. Yeah, it's just Superman in a kimono without shoes and sunglasses, but
it's the aviators. Those aviators sell it. You can put Superman in any outfit, put aviators on. Oh shit, that's badass. That's freaking top. New 52 aviators, awesome. Classic aviators, awesome. Put aviators with Superman. That would explain the whole secret identity thing as well. Because boom, glasses, boom, Aviators. Where'd Marlon go? Totally different guy.
But yeah, they made his design very much look like Kazuma Kiryu in the Yakuza game. So he just has that, like, obviously he has already a defined jawline from just years of just being there. But it's like, okay, well, we'll make him look like his face is made of granite.
The only thing could have been cooler is if he was chopping a cigar the entire movie for all of his dialogue.
No, we already do that with Barry Allen because he has his little wheat straw.
That is true. Damn, Barry's so cool. Actually, is the coolest character.
He's so cool and he's defeated in the stupidest way, and I love it.
It's the only way that makes sense. They're not out racing the Flash in a Batmobile. It's not happening. So essentially tricking him and having the whole thing be a simulation. Perfect.
Oh man, I'm thirsty. I understand that this whole thing's in a simulation, but this vending machine definitely isn't. I thought they would have just drugged like one of the drinks, but
like nah, hologram, high tech with it.
Just shoot him in the head with a dart.
Which is funny because at that point he's already on the treadmill running as fast. Just shoot him while he's there. He's not going anywhere.
No,
he's in the same spot.
They needed to tire him out just in case.
I think Jason just thought it would be funny. Just the moment he tries to get a drink, bam.
Yeah, that is a good question. So were you fine with the runtime, or do you think this could have been an additional like 30 minutes? Do you think they could have gone like full length 2 hours with this and it not lose anything?
I'm going to be an old man about this. The runtime was fine because too many movies try to squeeze too much in as it is. The runtime was fine because there was a singular plot and they adhered to that. There wasn't a subplot. There wasn't a second character we were following, which I was afraid was going to happen for a second. It was all like, here's the League. We're taking them out. That's it. There's no MacGuffin they had to get or anything. It was just, here's Batman versus the League. And we occasionally cut back to the Robins only because, well, the Flash needs to do something. And we just can't have all these guys jump Batman or the movie would be over in minutes. So clearing them up was good. But that and Batman Ninja were really good in staying focused. And I love when plots do that. I love when plots give me no reason to look at my phone, because if I look away, I will miss something. Because they're focused on just the one thing. I can miss something if I just step away for a second, as opposed to, say, any given CW project.
Yeah, and this also knows how to pick its spots, because as you watch it, like, as soon as like the story's taking a lull, they know that they need to get you back with something like big and bombastic. So they'll either have a big fight, they'll have something big happen, like the Superman reveal or something like that, or they'll just go completely bonkers and do a 1970s style like Voltron intro.
Yeah, shit was constantly happening. Or the one Wonder Woman karaoke scene was unnecessary but appreciated. Sometimes I appreciate your style. Things because it's cool.
Or when they do everything in diorama, although that was in the... Oh no, they did the dioramas twice, because they did it in the backstories and then they did it in the post-credits.
Yeah, I love the mixture of styles with this. It was very much like a, what do you call it? A collage instead of just having like one singular focus. It felt like Batman Ninja was primarily CGI and occasionally to be like the hand-drawn animation thing like the Red Hood scene. This one was like different teams working on different characters, and then they brought that together, which I thought was the coolest thing. And I appreciated the dioramas, all the Japanese culture just thrown in there and just like puking Japanese culture all over it. Maybe that's why Joey hated it. Maybe Joey hates Japan. I don't know.
Well, Joey didn't even get to this one, despite me saying like Yakuza League's the better one.
It is. It's what they were setting up for the whole time, and I really got upset through it. Might watch it again, honestly. That's good stuff.
Do you think Joker was done dirty by this, though, since he's like basically in it for one scene, shows off his like pompadour Joker design, and then just kind of leaves?
Get out of here! It's not your movie. It's not your movie. It's not about you.
Third one.
Like, they have enough like media coverage of the Joker as is. Like, he's one of those characters that he's in my peripheral. Like, oh, he went away. That's fine. He'll be back. I have no doubts about it. So what do I care? I'm sure I could see him somewhere else. And he dominated the first movie as is. We don't need him to come back and betray Ra's al Ghul as, oh my God, it's Joker again. Don't let Ra's have his spot. Let other villains have their space.
If you had to make a third one, like what would you even do at this point? Like I feel like they've like blown their load at this point.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. The only other way, anything they do from here on would be boring. It would be like bringing Darkseid so that the Japanese league could fight him. Like, yeah, I guess we could get to see Japanese versions of Superman's Rogues Gallery, but I feel like the the gimmick is getting old. Now we have just Japanese versions of these characters, and that's not enough to push 3 movies for me. Honestly, like, oh, Japan came back, and now we have to go back to Japan. Like, it's run its course. At this point, you could use the same characters and go to a different era. You could suddenly introduce the DC Bombshells, which I have my fingers crossed on. Make a DC Bombshells movie, and I'm there for it. But no, I don't see going back to Japan. And I feel like more movies need to adhere to that. You have your movie, and you have your sequel. That's stick with that. Not everything needs to be Lord of the Rings. Not everything needs to be Star Wars. You don't need a trilogy for everything just because The Empire Strikes Back invented the movie cliffhanger. It's unnecessary. You have your good movie, okay, great. Create an awesome sequel. You have your Smile, create Smile 2. Stop there. You don't need any more.
I had the thought today of like, DC has a lot of cool like Elseworlds characters that in Magic the Gathering they currently have, since I've been playing Magic the Gathering lately, they have this thing where they're constantly bringing in other properties. So it's like, you can have a Doctor Who deck, and you can have like a Doctor Who deck that's specific to like the David Tennant Doctor or something like that.
Yeah.
But they have a Final Fantasy one coming out. Which has like, you can have your, Final Fantasy 7 hero characters or what have you. It's like, I want a DC version of like a trading card game where I can be like, oh, I want to have a team of like the Emerald Queen or whatever Jessica Cruz is called in this, alongside like the Batman, the Superman Yakuza guy and Batman Ninja, and that is my deck that I'm using to like face other people. So I want a TCG out of this.
That would be cool. So you have your Japanese deck, you have your 1930s like DC Bombshells deck, you have your cowboy deck. Like they keep putting them in different eras, so you can just kind of keep this going forever. They have the Stone Age ones. They have DC dinosaurs. Batman's a T Rex. There's a bunch out there.
But before I get into like sort of final thoughts on this, so for you kids out there watching the YouTube archive, more than likely, because there's obviously not much in the Twitch stream here.
You know,
The so if you back in 2007, shortly after The Dark Knight came out, was that 2007 or was it
2008?
yeah 2008? We had a anime uh anthology called, what was it, was it just called Gotham Knight?
Yeah,
Did I
yeah. I
memory
remember
hole
that
this too
came out
bad?
after Batman Begins or so. Yeah, I completely forgot about that. Holy shit.
Yeah, but it was called Gotham Knight. It was made by the same people who made the Animatrix. It was in the same vein,
Yeah,
obviously all both by WB, so they have this in their back pocket. Um,
yeah,
and it wasn't as good as the Animatrix was. The Animatrix was like pretty well designed. There's not a lot of bad in the Animatrix, but there is like a lot of like, oh, this isn't all that good in Gotham Knight. If we
yeah.
got these two movies instead of Gotham Knight, do you think they would have been received well at that time, or do you think that both these movies need the superhero landscape that we're in to have us appreciate it?
They need a superhero landscape. The 2000s was a terrible time for that. Superhero movies were still recovering at this point, and we're still in our grim, dark era where everything needs to be super realistic, super grim. Everyone's wearing leather all the time, even like Daredevil and the Fantastic Four. So this one would bomb because they would compare it to Batman and Robin, which are still fresh in everyone's memories. 2008, that's just 10, maybe 11 years after Batman and Robin. This is still fresh in everyone's head. So like, no, this needs to be serious. Everything black and brown. Everything needs to just be monochrome all the time. this would not have gone very far. The fans would have torn it apart.
Yeah, I asked
This
that
new generation
question.
of fans appreciate it.
I asked that question realizing, like, slowly in my brain, it's like, oh yeah, 2008, 2009 was the same time that X-Play for every single, like, Japanese RPG that came out would, like, constantly talk about bombing Japan or something like that. It's like, oh yeah, it was that terrible time.
Adam Sessler or Ryan Pereira? Which one?
It was Adam Sessler and Morgan Webb were the two of that era.
I'm disappointed in Morgan Webb. Like, damn. Adam Sessler I expected from.
Well, he's just
he's
just complaining about Palestinian protesters at this point. So who gives a fuck about Adam Sessler?
Oh no! Oh god! We become our parents.
If you're gonna be anyone in games media, be the giant bomb people or something like that. Like just be jaded old men that are just like whatever. Like
it's also from an era where being mean was seen as funny, and I feel like unfortunately we're returning to that thanks to this new president. But it was an era where angry equaled funny, like the nostalgia critic and angry video game nerds. Like, I hate this. Boom, millions of views, millions of likes, and unfortunately, something like this would have been ripped apart by every single reviewer back then.
Yeah,
like, who is this even for?
This is a movie where, like, Superman doesn't get turned by, like, punching him in the face. That is part of it, but in the end, like, Batman just convinces him that, like, the better version of him is one that lifts up people, and he's like, oh yeah, I am kind of a dick. Regular Superman is better than me.
Yep. That was enough.
I do like how Superman's Kuriku the Man of Steel's entire, like, worldview is just based in prison logic. It's like, I protect these people because I find the biggest guy and beat him up.
That's a good way to describe a prison Superman. He probably has been. He hasn't been in prison. He doesn't know what pain feels like.
So, anyway, same question as Batman Ninja. If you had two characters to get statues of for the sequel, what are you getting?
Deathstroke. I want to say Red Hood so badly, but you know what? Deathstroke and Red Hood. Two-Face is really close, though. I'm a big fan of Two-Face's design. Not so much his mech. They really dropped the ball on Two-Face's mech, but Two-Face's, like, initial samurai design, super cool.
Which Red Hood design, other than the like big wicker basket one from Batman Ninja, because he has like 3 different designs in Yakuza League. It feels.
I understood that question backwards. Yeah. I misheard your question. Okay, so we're talking about Yakuza League. So for this one, I thought I gave those answers already, though. I said Jessica Cruz, Aquaman, and the Flash, right? Yeah, that's why I got it backwards.
I want a statue of Yakuza Superman with his arms crossed. Like, I want that just sitting on my desk, protecting my desk from ne'er-do-wells.
Keep billowing in the wind, going all over the place. That would look sick as hell. Oh, I guess with that in mind, I still say the same characters, but their ending costumes. The ending costumes with the glowing tattoos were really cool. Including Superman wearing his big red diaper thong thing.
You shine a black light on it.
Yeah. Black light Superman, yeah.
Or it just glows in the dark, whatever.
Spencer's Gifts presents the Justice League.
I'm giving you all these ideas, DC, because there is not a statue line of this. Granted, it came out in 2005, so I imagine that there will be.
I'm surprised. It just feels like something that would be based on a statue line. Like, all of these look like very layup statues. Like, they're easy.
Yeah, I Googled, like, I'll Google again, because I think there's just, like, regular Batman Ninja stuff, but not Yakuza League stuff yet.
That is a shame. The Flash design is so sick. Hell, even the Wonder Woman design by the end of the movie looks pretty cool. It's just throughout the entire movie it looks boring. Jessica Cruz, either one looks amazing.
Yeah, there's not a statue line yet, or a toy line of the Yakuza League movie.
They need to capitalize on that. I mean, I know most fans in most Americans are broke right now, but do it anyway. Just put it out there for the collectors who have money.
Get Todd McFarlane on the phone. He's not doing anything.
Right.
I don't know
Like,
what
even
Todd
action
McFarlane's doing. I'm not going
like,
to
even if you're
Google
not
what
doing,
Todd McFarlane is doing, because that's how I find out that he's like a Trumper or something. But
I, I don't Google people I admire either. It's really unfortunate. It's unfortunate news.
don't Google people in comics from the '90s. Like, that's basically what I've learned. Other than Grant Morrison. Grant Morrison is a good egg. He's nuts.
Yeah, Google the weirdos. Grant Morrison is fine. Alan Moore is fine. The more normal they are, the more you have to worry about.
Google Neil Gaiman. Oh no.
I guess he's pretty well adjusted. Ah, shit. How old was she? Damn it. You know, his Alan Moore, I worship a snake god. Yep, that's my guy. I can trust him around my kids.
So, final score, obviously on Animesplaining, we use the 7-star scale. 1 is completely insulting to my intelligence, which is what Joey gave this, or gave Batman Ninja, which I am not considering as part of it, just because I'm
Gonna fight him
cruel
once.
and spiteful. 2,
He just hates the Japanese.
yeah, 2 is bad, but, you know, there's some, like, redeeming qualities to it. 3 is a general, I didn't feel robbed, I liked it statement. 4 is good, but there are just some things, there's, like, one thing or, like, a few things that just, like, needle in your mind that keep it from getting to 5, which is good for the genre. 6 is exemplary for the genre. And 7 is so good, it has redefined what good is. You can either give the movies separately or together. It's your choice.
Well, separate easily. Because Ninja is an easy 5. Like, just getting my feet wet on the subject is like, oh, this is cool. This is something out there and different. This is something we haven't seen before. And it doesn't need much for the concept to hook me. It's just the designs were enough. It didn't hook me emotionally because the plot was incoherent. The plot wasn't there. There wasn't any real characters to connect to, except for maybe the Joker and Hardy during that one scene when Red Hood was beating the shit out of them. But then it took that back pretty quickly. So there goes that for me. And then there's the Yakuza League, which, again, same story. You didn't have an emotional hook, but you get a 6 just for style points. Because Batman Ninja, as far as I can tell, only had 2 animators, or at least it felt like it was predominantly CGI, 3D animated. And they had the one scene traditionally animated. And, like, the character backgrounds, of course, being in 3D, doing the whole, what do you call it thing, when you're, like, using dolls? I forgot the name of it. But Yakuza League felt more like what they were working on the whole time. That felt like more like the big project. That felt more visually what they wanted to accomplish. Like, Eastern characters are hand drawn, Western characters are 3D. That was a really cool element.
Yeah, there's a lot of talk of blank check movies, thanks to Ryan Coogler with Sinners. Yeah. And Yakuza League very much doesn't really feel like a blank check. There's definitely some limits to it, but it definitely feels like they looked at Batman Ninja doing well beyond a lot of the other DC animated movies, and they said, go nuts. I think there is a reason why Batman Ninja and Batman Ninja vs. the Yakuza League are not on HBO Max. They want you to rent this. They know that I think that there's going to be enough of a buzz that you are going to want to actually buy this. And I mean, I got it on sale for $15 for both movies. I think that is more than fair for owning both.
Yeah.
And
it's either that or everyone feels like Joey and they just don't like things that are that different. Like, oh my God, it's Japanese. I want nothing to do with this. And they're missing out, I say.
Yeah, but the first one, yeah, I give it a 5. It's like the most 5 out of 10 thing that I've ever seen, or 5 out of 7. Where it's just like, oh, this was good, this was fun, this was bombastic. I did like hem and haw over myself because I debated on giving Yakuza League a 7 because of the superhero landscape. But similar to the conversation that we had around the Anime of the Year contenders, like, the 7 should be in general, like, you are rating it against other media. So is Batman
Yeah.
Ninja versus the Yakuza League better than The Godfather? Probably not. Is it better than Metal Gear Solid? Probably not. So
Mask of the Phantasm, nope. Under the Red Hood, nope. So no, those are sevens. Those are the ones that get the sevens for me.
yep, so that's why it exists as exemplary for the genre, because that tells you that's like, I would like to see more of this if possible. I would like to see the thing that I always thought of was just going whole hog with how the Grant Morrison did Batman dying in Final Crisis, where it's just like, oh, Batman's just been splintered across time, and now we can just tell these wacky stories of prehistoric Batman or anything like that. It's like, I want like an anthology series where I just get like all of these just random things, but we got that in the War World like animated thing, and it wasn't very good, sadly.
Yeah, like I repeat, give it to the Japanese. I don't think we know what we're doing over here anymore when it comes to this stuff. Animation in America, unless you're the Spider Verse team, you're not really cutting it.
Yeah, or the French, like just give it to someone that has like something to say. Granted, Batman, these two movies have zero to say other than look at this cool shit.
Yeah, and that's enough for an hour and a half movie. That's totally fine for me. I feel like the project was bigger than they expected. They wanted the Yakuza League, but then they needed to set it up. And that movie might have been 2.5 hours long, and we got to break this up. We got to split this up. So that's how we got Batman Ninja and Yakuza League. And turns out you don't really need much for that beyond you're in Japan and you're fighting Japanese versions of your guys now. That's it. Most people can suspend their disbelief enough for a Superman or a man in a bat outfit fighting criminals. You can take it a little bit further.
Yeah, and before we go out, so recommendations for other DC animated stuff, because the problem is a lot of it exists on HBO Max, a lot of it is bad.
So bad.
Because I really wanted Crisis on Infinite Earths to be bad, but that is literally 3 separate movies of bad. uh,
Yeah. Once again, I don't know how else to put it, but it's like the person who stays too long at work and always gets overtime, who thinks they're the hardest working person there, but they're really bad at time management. That's how I feel about DC with movies. You don't need 3 movies for this. Get told it in one. I think you're really bad at plot management. And now you just have 3 really bad movies instead.
or if you're going to do multiple movies, like, do it like reiterating on each and every one. Like, it is kind of fun how you can watch the it's like back from their version of Endgame, because it was the end of that animation studio that was doing the DC movies, but that had been like an ongoing thing since the Batman Superman one where they like find Supergirl.
Yeah. Everything post Justice League Unlimited has been they've paled in comparison so hard. They keep trying to recapture that lightning in a bottle, and they can't quite do what Bruce Timm does. And this is the closest they've gotten to it in years, I feel. And it was to hand it over to another country entirely. Because you guys think you know what we want, but you clearly do not.
Yeah, I think if you need your good stuff, and you can add in as you want. So the 2 like mainstays in DC anime are going to be Mask of the Phantasm and Return of the Joker. Like, those are classics. Just rent them. They're really good.
Those are 8s. Those are 8 out of 7.
In terms of like good modern DC animated stuff, the Dark Knight Returns 2-parter was very good. It's basically just the comic in animated form. But it's R-rated. It's actually very good. And Under the Red Hood, which you mentioned, is probably the best original one of them. I haven't watched Death in the Family yet. I hear it's okay. But
I'm trying to remember which one started off with the Batman Batgirl sex scene. That's the bad one.
That was Killing Joke.
Killing Joke. Yes, avoid Killing Joke at all costs.
Just read Killing Joke.
Just read the Killing Joke.
But yeah, other than that, the really weird one that I will constantly recommend, other than like All-Star Superman, like, you should watch All-Star Superman if you just don't read the comic before the new Superman movie comes out. It will give you a decent idea of what James Gunn is going for. But also watch Superman versus the Elite.
Oh, that's where you're going. Because I was thinking Superman Adventures. If you haven't jumped on that yet, that is the show to watch before you watch James Gunn's Superman.
No, I'm talking specifically about the movies, and Superman versus the Elite. It is not pretty to look at, but the story is so very, very good. Because
I think it's pretty to look at. I like the art design. I like people who try something different occasionally. Not everyone needs to look hyper realistic or like huge jaws or anything. Just be goofy, goofy shit.
but anything that I missed in that list here, do you really like that first Green Arrow movie? Or no, Green Lantern was First Flight. There's just a Green Arrow
yeah,
short attached.
it was like
to
a
it.
short, yeah. But Green Lantern First Place, is that the one of the dude from Law and Order SVU? Because absolutely, I recommend that one.
I believe so.
Christopher Maloney as Hal Jordan is, yeah, that is a really good one. I forgot that one even existed. That is a good one. I watched it like 4 times in the same day when I got it on DVD, like when we purchased those things.
Fuck, we're gonna have a side series of just animated superhero splaining or something.
That's what it's becoming.
Just go through them piecemeal. Like.
There's enough material there to work with. There's so many good ones and so many ones that I don't want to revisit that I'll do it anyway for, for the likes.
I am very afraid to watch that 2-part Watchmen one. I am so very
Honestly,
afraid.
me too. I mostly don't trust DC animation anymore. It used to be that DC always had the leg up over Marvel, but 80% of the time I don't trust them anymore. So when things like this come out, like that reignites the hope again, and I hope we're getting back there.
I don't trust their movie division. Their regular like animation, like sometimes they make really good choices. Like My Adventures with Superman was a really good choice.
Yeah. You know what? You're right. With their TV, it's fine. I like the Green Lantern show. I like the Batman follow up with that. I like the Batman that was on Kids WB. Those are all really solid shows. Like 2 of them got canceled in 1 season, but yeah, they're pretty good at TV. Movies though, like I don't know, like they try to appeal to adults and they go too hard. It's like no, too far, too far. You alienated both of us. Now neither of us are watching this. The kids and the grown-ups don't like what you just did.
But yeah, so Batman Ninja and Batman Ninja vs. the Yakuza League, spend $15 on it. Like tell DC and Warner Brothers that this is something worth paying money for. So we potentially get more wacky things on it. But yeah, we'll figure out another Gaiden to do. Eventually we'll probably need to do Inuyashiki or Devilman Crybaby, both the things that would make Joey really, really uncomfortable to watch. So
or Berserk for the matter. At some point we're gonna have to touch on actual popular anime. The closest one we got so far was Solo Leveling. Because some guy at the gym came up to me and was like, hey, you like anime, right? Because he saw my water bottle and pretty much got an idea. Of course, I like anime. Have you seen Solo Leveling? What's the fan of that one? Of course, that's the one you immediately open with.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk on the side about what the next Gaiden is, but if we want to have a Gaiden about you watching like what I have watched, like if you want to like watch through the first season of Solo Leveling and tell me that I'm completely wrong about everything, or watch through like the first season of Freyrin, let's go nuts, but we'll figure it out on the side here.
Yeah, absolutely want to check out at least one of those in full, even if not for the show. And my free run's happening in my free time. It's happening, but I also still have to finish Bastard as well. So I have a list already.
Alrighty, on that bombshell, we will head out of here. We do have Gundam Requiem for Vengeance coming, but that will be in June. So see you later, everyone.
Long ass title.